How would you explain or describe what you actually do online?
I always find it so interesting when I get asked that question because to me it just feels so natural what I do. And I guess it's just me being in the kitchen, sharing my love for cooking, but also wearing outfits that you probably typically wouldn't wear in the kitchen just because I'm a fashion girl at heart. And when I moved to America, I didn't really leave the house a lot because we had kids and then I couldn't work and all of these things. So I was like, well, if I can cook at home in a cool outfit, why not? It's sitting in my closet anyways. So I think that kind of sparked the fashion aspect of my content. And then cooking is just something I feel like I slipped into. And then also learning a lot about myself, my health journey, that also inspired the from scratch cooking. I feel like that's how I build my audience. People love seeing it and tuning in.
It is natural for sure.
Yeah.
But it's so clever and smart and wonderful at the same time.
Yeah.
Like you said, no one's used to seeing someone cook a meal from scratch
No.
in like a brand new Prada, dress or whatever it may be. And you're like dressed in all white while you're like,
That is risky. The fact that I actually have never spilled anything on myself baffles me.
Never.
No.
Not even as an outtake.
No. Not while cooking, but then I sit down and eat and all of a sudden I've got stuff on me. It's really, I don't know how it happens, but fingers crossed that I'm not jinxing it right now.
You'd be really disappointed watching me cook.
You know what? I think
try.
I'd have a laugh because watching Lucky cook in the kitchen is
he
interesting.
terrible?
Oh, yeah.
That makes me feel so much better.
No, he's terrible. The only thing he does know how to make really well is a steak. So usually when it comes to like steak, I'm like, you do it because sometimes I get iffy with it. So he'll do that. I'll do all the rest. And he's a good baker.
Right.
I feel like baking is something that you could get into actually if you're not already into it.
No, don't. I'm so bad.
You just have to level your spoons and you're fine.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure I can do any of that. I'm like a full on mess. There's a video of me. Radhi always like gets me in the kitchen somehow for videos. And there's a video of me peeling an avocado, which is really the most embarrassing thing.
Wait, what do you mean? How do you peel it?
Well, just watch the video.
Okay. We'll check it out
It's really
after.
embarrassing. It's really bad because I had no idea.
I can't imagine that.
And Radhi totally set me up, but it's terrible. The reason why I wanted to have you on the show is I also feel that as creators, you get known for a very specific thing. And of course, that's your brand. It's who you are. It's your business. But then there's a human behind that. And there's a human story behind that. And I think that's what I've always loved about my show is the ability to get to know the human behind the brand, behind what's working online, behind the creator. And so I know you grew up in Germany.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, like, what's a childhood experience that you had that you feel really defines who you are today or an experience that stayed with you?
I think growing up with my German grandma, she passed years ago, but I think she shaped so much of what I love and what I do. So she's kind of the reason that I got into cooking and I've had an interest in that. She was the one that got me into playing the piano that I played for 10 years. She's the one that taught me how to read and now I can't put down a book and I have never been able to. Like my room was full of books as a child. And I think she's a person that really shaped me and my views on the world. And I think that's something that will always be missed with her not being here anymore. And I wish she could see me now and I hope she would be proud, but I think she is.
How old were you when you lost her?
I'm not too sure. I was young. I remember the day she passed. I was actually at home because I wasn't feeling well. And I'm really surprised my parents let me stay home, but I think they saw that I actually wasn't feeling well. And then I remember getting a call on our house telephone at the time. And I don't know, my heart dropped, which is weird because we got calls all the time, but I just knew my grandma passed in that moment. And I don't know how. So I answered the call and it was the old age home that she was in. And they were like, is your dad home? And in that moment, I just knew because I kind of put two and two together. And that was a really sad day. I don't remember exactly how old I was, but I was definitely in elementary or starting high school. Yeah.
Yeah. And was it something she did or was it how she lived?
I think how she lived. Like she wasn't afraid to do things. She was very independent. She was just so strong. She was such a strong woman. And I think that's what was really inspiring to me.
Yeah, I think it's so beautiful. I feel like there are so many people around us who've impacted our lives, but they never said a thing.
No.
Like they didn't tell you how to live.
No.
They didn't give you advice. It's not that they shared some wisdom with you, but you just felt their presence and their energy and how they carried themselves, especially grandparents. I think Radhi has that same connection with her grandmother, who's still alive, but she just feels her infectious energy when she's around her.
And that's something I hope that I will have with my children and my grandkids one day, to where I don't have to say a lot. I can just be me and live authentically like myself, and they'll take away whatever they need to live their lives in the fullest way.
Yeah, you're reminding me of this beautiful quote from Saint Francis, who I love. And he wrote that, wherever you go, you should preach. So wherever you travel, you should preach. And if necessary, open your mouth. And it's that idea of like, we actually preach by not preaching. We preach through our character, our energy, how people feel when they're around us. And that says so much more than the words that come out of our mouth.
It does.
Yeah. But where did the modeling begin? Because I believe you became a model at 14. How did you talk to me about that transition of...
Yeah. So I actually started Instagram right when it came out. So
No
right when
way.
it came out, I was 14. Well, 13. I lied about my age.
Because you had to be 14.
I think you had to be 14. I just added like a year on.
Is that a Germany thing?
I don't know what it was. Maybe... Instagram literally just came out. That's the generation I'm in. So I never had Facebook, never had anything that came pre-Instagram. Instagram was kind of my first app that I was on. And I just posted my stuff, and I wanted to become a model. I don't know exactly why or where that came from, but that was kind of stuck in my head. And then there was this hashtag We Love Your Jeans, the IMG models was doing. So I just kept hashtagging my pictures. Nothing really happened. I was just a girl trying to make it somehow. And then actually, one day, the president reached out to me, and she wanted digitals and whatever. So my dad and I went around the house, did the walking video on like cobblestone. It was so horrible. I don't know what they saw in me. But then a week later, I was in Paris signing with them at 14. And then I've been with them ever since. I took a little break when my first kid was born, but now we're back, and it's great.
What gave you the confidence at 13 to like take pictures, post them? Like, where was that coming from?
I think at that age, at least for me, I had no sense of embarrassment or humility in a way. I was like, yeah, I look great. I'm tall. I'm whatever. Like at that age, I wasn't really insecure about anything. And I think that came later with obviously the modeling industry comes with a lot of your appearance is basically the most important thing. So then all of a sudden you think about all these things. And I think that's where the insecurity came in. And I was blissfully kind of unaware of all my flaws, I guess, at that age, which kind of helped me to get to that point. And then after is kind of when the insecurity set in.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? Like, I think that age is also getting younger and younger, where insecurity sets in now.
Yeah.
Like if you were the generation where Instagram was your first app at 13. When I was 13, I had a brick phone.
I love that,
my life was, my parents got it for me because I used to get a bus home from school on my own. So I could just text my mom or call her and say, hey, mom, I'm on the bus. And that was the reason I had it. And, you had to like key in your ringtones. Like there was no, there wasn't an app.
You had to like press the button 3 times to get the letter.
Literally, yeah, this isn't a smartphone, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to think how 13 for me was phones were becoming a thing. 13 for you is Instagram. 13 now.
I don't even want to know. That's one of the things that I actually feel really strongly about is protecting my kids from that world and doing everything in my power for them to not be involved in that in whatever way that is. Like they're not getting smartphones. I mean, they're too young to even have a phone right now. They're 3 and, baby, and then 3 and 4. So that's not something we're even talking about. But Lucky and I have always said we're never getting them smartphones. We're going to get them a phone that they can call us with and text us with, but also being in the digital space and knowing what the internet is like and knowing what the modeling industry is like. I would never, ever want to subject my kids to that. So that's something that I think I'm like painfully aware of, to where I just want to protect them so much, because also I think I wasn't protected enough when I was a kid because my parents didn't know any better. They'd never seen Instagram before. They'd never heard about Snapchat. They've never heard about all these different apps that all of a sudden started popping